everyone, Lawrence here. Welcome back to another AIRTOC demo. In this video, we're focusing in on one of the most critical documents throughout the entire project lifecycle, the meeting minutes. Let's go. I'm going to walk you through what meeting minutes are, why they matter, and how project managers use them to maintain alignment and accountability throughout the lifecycle. Then we'll jump into a live AIRTOC demo so you can see exactly how to generate clean, professional meeting minutes using the AIMPM Project Management Coach. Let's get started. Now, PMI does not have a definition per se for meeting minutes, which I find a bit strange considering how critical they are to good project management. PMI Infinity, which is PMI's proprietary AI, describes meeting minutes in this way. It says PMI does not define meeting minutes with an explicit textbook definition. However, meeting minutes as understood in project management practices refer to formal, written documentation of the discussions, decisions, and actions agreed upon during a meeting. They serve as an official record to ensure alignment, track commitments, and provide a historical log of decision-making. Meeting minutes are the formal written record of what took place during a project meeting, but from our perspective, they should include some very specific pieces. They should include a clear summary of discussion points and things that were talked about, a record of the decisions that were made, a breakdown separated out for action items, ownership and deadlines, risks, issues, and blockers, follow-up requirements or next steps, and even status updates. This structure provides your project team with a categorized set of minutes rather than a jumbled set of notes that they're expected to comb through for that one task they forgot to do. Your minutes should be concise, direct, and accurate. You don't achieve this by typing every word people say in a meeting. You achieve this by focusing in on certain points of discussion and documenting those with precision. If you can do this well, your meeting minutes will become the documented source of truth for what happened and who is responsible for moving forward. If you align this with your integrated logs and registers, then you're tracking like a pro. If you can do this well, your meeting minutes will become the documented source of truth for what happened in that meeting and who is responsible for moving forward. If you can align this with your integrated logs and registers, you're doing even better. Meeting minutes matter because they bring clarity, accountability, and structure to your project communication. Meeting minutes help you track and reinforce decisions, capture commitments and deliverables, ensure alignment amongst project stakeholders, document risks and issues as they emerge, prevent misunderstandings, provide evidence for governance or audits, and maintain continuity between each meeting that you hold. Without your meeting minutes, your project relies on memory and assumptions, which is the last thing you want. With meeting minutes, your team has a shared, documented understanding of what happens next and what happened in the past, which sometimes becomes very important to people holding the purse strings. Your meeting minutes are going to be used throughout the entire project lifecycle as an operational backbone of communication. Essentially, if I can capture all of the action items, decisions, and next steps in the meeting, it allows me to measure progress against an initial baseline. If I can measure progress against a baseline, I can easily identify risks or issues that may impact that progress. For example, if someone is late on their task, I can manage the project back to baseline if I remove the issue, or I could set a new baseline if I need to. This is usually directly related to whether a resource can accomplish their action item or the next step required for progress. If it's not an action item or next step slowing down progress, then it's most likely a decision or non-decision that's slowing down progress. If I identify a risk or issue, I can communicate that to decision makers and project leadership to help me remove the issue. And this maintains my accountability as a project manager and keeps things on track. Meeting minutes create continuity. They connect past discussions to future actions. If you're not taking meeting minutes with these strategies in mind, start now. You'll thank me later. Now that you understand the purpose and importance of meeting minutes, let's walk through how to generate them using the AIRTOC framework. We'll follow the same structure we use in every other demo so far. We'll build the prompt inside the AIRTOC template, and then we'll show you how to complete a full set of professional meeting minutes within the AIMPM Project Management Coach. Let's go. Okay, folks, before we dive into meeting minutes, there's a few things that we like to get squared away before we get into our demonstration. Number one, for the sake of time and simplicity, we'll be using simulated minimal data. In real projects, you'll probably have a lot more context to add to your meeting minutes, but we're going to use a minimal set of data today, and you'll see an example of that shortly. But even with simplified data, you'll still see how powerful AIRTOC prompts can be. Remember, the more context you add, the better the output. And lastly, this process applies to every AIRTOC template in the textbook. The workflow is universal and repeatable across all deliverables. Let's dive in. Okay, now for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to handle things a little bit differently than what you're used to. Typically, we're going to give you guys an overview of everything that goes into the demonstration, but this is a very simple one, pretty much from the standpoint of meeting minutes. Now, the only thing we're going to use here is the actual AIRTOC template for meeting minutes and summary reports, which you can find in your textbooks in the AIRTOC library. And then for this, we're just going to use a jumbled up set of meeting minutes. And hopefully your meeting minutes don't actually look like this. They're a bit more categorized. But even if they come in this format, we're going to show you the power of AIRTOC. And we're going to take this and actually add it right into our query in the AIMPM Project Management Coach. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so starting off with the AIRTOC template for meeting minutes and summary reports, the AIRTOC framework remains the same. We have our AI platform, we have our role, task, and output, and we have our context here. AI produces, again, is just an example of what AI will produce once you feed it the query. All right, so let's start at the top again. We recommend Gemini or ChatGPT for this. The role is going to be a project coordinator or project manager. The task is to draft meeting minutes and summary reports by capturing discussions, decisions, and actions from project meetings. The output is going to be a formal record of meeting discussions, decisions, and follow-up tasks. And our input for context, you don't need to go too deep here because we're asking it to draft out a set of meeting minutes, but this stuff is always good to include because it just gives AI additional information to work from and build context from. So we still include our scope, our baseline problem and goal, our constraints, our risks, and our stakeholders. The data, of course, is really just going to be your meeting data, right? Discussion data, decision data, action data, reference data, and all of this stuff can be found within your meeting minutes, hopefully. If you're categorizing things out this way, it's probably going to be a lot easier for AI to read through this prompt, but either way, it's going to be good for you to add this information in. So let's take a look at what we have inside of our meeting minutes. And again, this is just a jumble set of minutes. Hopefully your meeting minutes look a lot better than this, as I said before, but if they don't, we can still work through this query and get a really concise set of minutes on the other side. So we'll just kind of scroll through this. You don't have to read through everything. Just understand that these meeting minutes are completely disorganized and we need to organize them. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to do in order to make this happen. First thing I'm going to do is actually copy and paste in the role, task, and output and context sections for the prompt. Okay, so I'm going to copy this in and I'm going to paste it into our AIMPM Project Management Coach. Now, I'm not done yet because I still have to add the meeting minutes. So I'm just going to put a dash between this and say, here are the meeting minutes. Okay. And then I'll go back to my document and I'll copy and paste these in. All right. So I'll just drag this down like so. Make sure I copy that. And then I'm going to paste it in. All right, now AI has all of the context it needs to draft up these minutes. Let's go ahead and hit the go button. And let's see what we get. Okay, now when AI starts to think like this, I know that it's doing its job. It's actually considering all of the constraints and the materials that it needs to draft up into these minutes. And now it'll start to produce something. All right, clean, formal, PMO-ready set of meeting minutes. Let's see what we get. Okay, and it's not going to hallucinate. And so, for example, in those meeting minutes, it said that there wasn't really a good start time, or the PM didn't really know when the start time happened. So that's pointed out, right? The meeting type, the facilitator, recorder, attendees, absent but referenced. Okay, so these are all pieces of information that the meeting minutes held, right? The purpose of the meeting here, you have a summary of key discussions, right? So it breaks each one of these out in section 2. All right. So these are all individual talking points or discussion points that people had within this meeting. But in that set of meeting minutes that I showed you guys earlier, do you think you would have been able to point all of that out and categorize it this way as fast as AI did it? Probably not, right? This probably would have taken you a couple of hours to separate that information out. Next, you have some decisions. No formal decisions were recorded. Risks identified. Okay, so it breaks them out here. Then it breaks out a set of action items into a table. And then the next meeting, what we should be doing, and some observations. So this is a functional set of meeting minutes that if your meeting minutes were accurate to a certain degree, even if they were jumbled up like the way they were, if they're accurate, AI can interpret those into a concise set of minutes with categories for you to share with your project team. So going from something like this to something like this is a major leap in terms of your output. And all of it happens within a matter of seconds. This is the power of AIRTOC. You're able to take a minimal set of information, structure it properly into something that you can share with your project team right away. This didn't take a lot of thinking. This didn't take a lot of reorganization. This barely requires an iteration. I'm able to take these minutes and send them right out to my team, categorized, broken out, action items, labeled, folks know who have to do them, what's going on at the next meeting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for everything that's due ASAP, right, I can track that to completion, pending team updates, I can track all of these different things to completion. Now I have a set of action items and risks identified that I can really talk to the team about, all based on those minutes that I took that seemed to be completely in disarray. Hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration. We're gonna move on to the next video. I will see you there.